They say family is everything, but what happens when the very people you live for become the reason you slowly die? This is not the kind of pain that shows on the skin. It hides behind fake smiles, in the silence of long nights, and in the eyes of someone who gave too much and got nothing in return. If you think you understand betrayal, wait till you hear her story. They say family is everything, but mine sold me pieces by pieces until there was nothing left to give except my life. The room was quiet, except for the beep of the hospital machine beside me. My skin pale, my bones weak, but my voice still strong enough to tell my truth to everyone who cared to listen. My name is Kemi, and this is the story of how I became a prostitute just to feed the people who never fed me love. I was born the first daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Kofo, daddy, a drunk, mommy, a pepper seller at the local market. Everyone called her Iyalata. We lived in a one-room apartment with a Lincoln zinc roof and rats that had names because they lived with us like family. I had two younger sisters, Bola and Nike, and one little brother, Ade. They were the only reason I smiled in that dirty room. I would always cover their mouths when they cried at night so daddy wouldn't beat them for making noise. Daddy was hardly home, and when he came back with loud curses and a smell of cheap alcohol. He beat mama, he beat us. Sometimes he didn't come back at all for days. Mama said he had many other women. He was busy making babies everywhere. One day, Mama had enough. She packed our things and left him. She carried four children on her head alone. We walked from dawn till dusk in the market, sweating and shouting to sell pepper, tomatoes and onions, but it was never enough. We couldn't pay rent for 3 months. The landlord began knocking. Mama would cry. She would beg him, please give me 1 more week. Then one day she stopped begging. She asked me to follow her to his house. I was 12 years old. I still play with bottle tops and drill on the sand with my toes. That evening, Mama knocked on his door. She held my hand so tight, I thought she was scared. When the door opened, she looked him in the eyes and said, she will do anything you want. Just please don't send us out. I didn't understand until he locked the door behind me. And that was the night my childhood died. From that day, I became the landlord's monthly rent. Every month, Mama would say, go and see Baba landlord. You know what today is? If I refused, she would beat me. If I cried, she would shout, you want us to sleep on the street? I was 12. I was in GS2 and I was already someone's main ticket. I didn't know it then, but that was only the beginning. They say a mother would do anything to protect her child, but mine, she turned me into a ATM and called it sacrifice. You see, after that night with the landlord, I thought it was over. I thought it was a one-time pain, one night of shame for a roof over our heads. But no, it became routine. It became life. Mama found a way to smile again. The beating stopped, not because peace came, but because I had become the price of peace. At 13, she made me quit school. I was still born in my head like a hot iron. What are you reading for? Book cannot feed your brother and sisters. That day, she unzipped my school bag and handed me a short skirt. Put this on, she said. There is one man that will give us good money if you behave well. I didn't understand, but I obeyed because I wanted to be a good daughter, because I thought this was what all girls had to do to help their families. Mama took me to a hotel. That was the first time I was with a man for money. She stood by the door, collecting cash before I even entered the room. I wanted to die that day, but I didn't. I came out and Mama hugged me with a smile and said, "You did well, my daughter. You are our blessing. You are our Hoywell." Hoywell, that's what I became. Not Kemi, not a daughter, not a child, just oil to be drilled again and again to keep the family running. At 14, my body had known more men than my age. I was walking while my sisters were learning. I was bleeding while they were playing. And Mama was dressing finer than ever. New wrappers, new bags, even a small boutique she opened. But me, my son left me a little more with every man. I would sometimes look at Bola and Nike in their clean uniform, going to school, eating warm food and laughing. They were my reason, they were my pain, they were my prison. One night, I told Mama I was tired. I told her I wanted to rest. She looked me in the eyes and said, "Don't be selfish. After all, I still have two daughters I am keeping clean. You are the only one strong enough to do this." That was the night I stopped being a daughter. I became an investment. My name is Kemi, and my mother was my first pimp. They say hard work pays, but they never told us what it costs when your hustle is paying. I gave my body to the streets, and in return, the street gave me a crown made of fire. By 16, I was no longer just a girl doing what her mother told her. I had become a brand. Men knew my name. They waited in line to taste me. Some called me Kemi the Fire. Others said, "Dat girl go kill person." I dressed in gold. I walked like thunder. I smiled like a queen. But deep inside, I was empty. By 18, I bought a house for Mama. Yes, a whole house. 3-bedroom flat, POP ceiling, tiled floor, water heater. She cried tears of joy and told everyone in church, "My daughter is a blessing from God." But she never told them how I made the money. She never told them I was bleeding inside every day. She never told them I slept with politicians, married men, cultists and criminals just to build her that house. I paid for Bola and Nike's school fees, private school. I bought Ade her first phone at age 10. I placed all of them on a monthly salary. Mama started telling her friends, "Kemi is the one feeding this family. Kemi is better than 10 sons." But I wasn't proud. I was surviving. Sometimes I would sit in my room, look at my reflection in the mirror and whisper, "Who are you?" Because I don't know anymore. I bought lands. I invested in properties. I was invited to big parties. Men offered me cars just to spend one night. From outside, I was the hottest chick in town. But at night, I cried myself to sleep. No one knows that my smiles were stitches from pain. No one knows that I wore makeup to cover the scars on my soul. No one knows that every time I counted my money, a part of me died a little more. Mama never said thank you. She just kept asking for more money, more gifts, more sacrifice. But I told myself it's okay. I'm doing it for them. They will love me forever. Oh Kemi, if only you know. They say your body keeps the score. Mine kept every bruise, every scar, every soul I gave away for survival. Until one day, it gave up on me. I still remember that morning. It started like any other. I woke up feeling tired, but I thought maybe I didn't sleep well. Then the fever came, then the weight loss, then the pain in my chest. I felt like fire was licking my lungs from the inside. I ignored it. I kept walking. I had bills to pay. I had siblings to feed. I had boutique to stock for mama. But the pain didn't stop. It got worse. Some nights, I would cough blood into a towel and smile through it like nothing happened. Then one day, I collapsed. I woke up in the hospital room. White walls, IV drip, machines beeping like slow drums of death. The doctor came in. He looked at me like I was already gone. Then he said it. Kemi, you have cancer. 3 words. That was all it took to silence the noise in my world. Cancer. Cancer? How? Why? Was it punishment? Was it karma? I called mama. She answered with her usual tone. Kemi, send money. Bola needs new shoes. And your brother is starting extra classes next week. I told her I had cancer. She paused, then said, Hey, yeah, God will heal you. Just send me something for food. I'm cooking soup. Soup? I laughed. For the first time in years, I laughed so hard. I cried. Even in my dying moment, all she saw was mourning. My body was breaking down, but I was still ahoy well. But I didn't stop sending them money. I didn't stop caring because I thought maybe, just maybe, they will come around. Maybe they will finally love me back. But I was wrong. They say blood is thicker than water, but sometimes it stains deeper when it spills from betrayal. I went to say goodbye and found out I had died in their hearts long ago. The doctor said I had less than 2 months. 2 months to live, 2 months to breathe, 2 months to make peace with the world, with a world that never gave me a chance. I thought of mama. I thought maybe I should see her just once more. Maybe hug her. Maybe hear her say, thank you, my daughter. So I wore my strength like makeup, covered my bad patches with a scarf, put on my smile like a dress, and I went home. It was around 2:30 in the afternoon. The sun was hot, but my heart was colder than it had ever been. As I reached Mama's gate, it was slightly open. I stepped in quietly. I heard her voice. She was on the phone laughing. No, no, listen. We have to act fast. Oh. Kemi doesn't have up to 1 month again. My feet froze. My chest tightened. See here, that her land in Lekki. She told me she doesn't have anyone to give. Once she dies, we will just carry lawyer and change names. She won't even be buried before we collect everything. I felt my walls spin. I wanted to believe I was dreaming, but then I heard her say something that stirred my soul. Abeg, help me talk to that man you know, the one that buys properties. If we act quick, we fit settle before she dies. Make her death no waste time. She called me her, not my daughter, not Kemi, not our blood, but her. I couldn't move. I couldn't cry. I couldn't scream. I just turned around and walked away, slow like a dead woman, carrying her own ghost. That night, I didn't sleep, not because of pain, but because of realization. I had been dying for people who were already planning life without me. I gave up my innocence, my youth, my soul for people who counted my days like a countdown to jackpot. Mama stopped picking my calls. Bola blocked me on WhatsApp. Nike stopped replying my messages. Ade changed his number. The only calls I got were from the hospital, asking when I would come for chemo. But I stopped going. What's the point of fighting for a life no one is praying for? They say when you are dying, your whole life flashes before your eyes. But for me, it was the silence that screamed the loudest. So I did the only thing I could. I recorded my pain. I sent it into the world that never listened. The hospital room was cold, the kind of cold that seeped into your bone and whispered, "You are almost here." I hadn't seen a familiar face in weeks. The nurse called me auntie. The doctors just nodded and walked by. My body was weak. My voice was fading. But my soul had one last fight left. So I picked up my phone, clicked on the recorder, and I spoke. My name is Kemi Kofo, but most people know me as the girl who built a family with her body. I'm lying in this hospital bed alone, dying, not from cancer, but from betrayal. Mama, if you ever hear this, I hope the boutique, the house, the lands, the school fees and monthly salaries, I hope they are worth it. You told me to open my legs so Bola and Nika could close theirs. You said I was strong, but I was just scared. You turned me into a transaction. Ade, I bought you your first phone. I paid for your dreams. Yet you changed your number like I was a mistake you didn't want calling back. Bola, Nike, my little sisters, you called me dirty behind my back, but that debt paid your school fees. I gave everything and I asked for nothing, just love, just a little kindness. But now I'm leaving this world with a heart heavier than my body. If you're listening to this and you have ever felt unloved, unseen, or used, please promise me one thing. Don't lose yourself for people who would trade your soul for comfort. I lived for others and I died for them too. I pressed send. I sent the voice note to the blog I once helped. I didn't know if they would post it, but I needed the world to know the truth. Not for fame, not for pity, but so no other girl would carry this curse in silence. That night, the rain fell, and for the first time, I felt peace. They say the dead can't speak, but sometimes their pain echoed longer than the living. The morning Kemi died, the rain didn't stop. The cloud mourned for her, even if her family didn't. She died in her sleep, peaceful, without a soul by her side. But her story didn't die with her. By noon that same day, the blog posted a voice note. The captions read, "She became a prostitute to feed her family. True story from a dying girl." Within 1 hour, it hit 500,000 plays. By evening, it was trending on every platform: TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. People cried, people screamed, people cursed, not at her, but at the world that failed her, at the mother who sold her, at the siblings who forgot her. They called her a hero, a fighter, a broken angel. Celebrities posted awards. Influencers turned her quotes into wallpapers. Girls in pain started using the hashtag I am Kemi. Bola, Nike and Ade were forced to shut down their social media. Mama couldn't step out of her house without people pointing fingers. "Na you use your daughter like ATM. Where was your love when she needed you?" Her grave was flooded with flowers, sent by strangers. A woman from London paid for her tombstone. Another girl started a foundation in her name, the Kemi's Voice Project, saving girls from family betrayal. Kemi, the girl nobody protected, became the voice that protected thousands. This story is dedicated to every person who gave too much and received too little, to those who were used, forgotten, and betrayed by the ones they called family. May your stories never die in silence. May your truth be your legacy. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this story, please don't forget to like, share and subscribe to the channel. Also click the notification bell so you never miss any of our upcoming stories. Feel free to leave a comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts. Your support means everything to me. Until next time, stay safe, stay blessed and keep enjoying great stories from me to you. I love you all. God bless you.